Hello everyone, and welcome to your second reading of this Boxing Day, as we call it here in South Africa. I know that it's called various things in different countries, but here, and that clunk was the clunk of the Lunar Soul Tarot box, which I shut so that I can show you that those are the cards that I have on the tarot table today. But here in South Africa, as I was saying, we call it Boxing Day. It's a beautiful day here in South Africa. Everyone recovering from their Christmases, their Christmas dinners, and I can see even Fluffy recovering from her Christmas dinner and stomping across the lawn. She has been lying under the tree where I have bird feeders hanging and looking up hoping one will flutter down. She's not very good at catching birds, I'm very pleased to say, but she does live in hope. So that's Fluffy. I hope you are all well, that you had a wonderful Christmas, that you enjoyed seeing the royal family on their walk, including little Louis, who I had my doubts about, but I'm very glad to see he was there, and he was the star of the show. And so that's the royals. We're going to look now at the less than royals over in Montecito, and this story about the nanny. This rumour that the latest nanny quit because she wasn't paid her overtime. The overtime that she clocked up while Harry and Meghan were stuck in the UK in September as a result of the late Queen's passing, and the fact that they decided to stay so that they could attend the funeral. Didn't have to stay, or equally, one could have shot back in that private jet, picked up the kids, flown back. Where was Doria? One wants to know. Also, was she not capable of looking after the little children for a couple of weeks? But anyway, interesting story. It's a rumour. Let's remind you that this is just a tarot reading for entertainment purposes, or just speculation, or just my opinion. I read on the royal family because it's an archetypal family, and we learn from archetypes. We can apply archetypal situations to our own lives, as Meghan herself knows with her podcast. And the dog is barking in agreement. There is a disclaimer, of course, in the box below. And we're talking about the Nanny 5-card reading with the Lunar Soul Tarot. I'm going to look and see what it's like working for Harry and Meghan as a nanny. Whether this most recent nanny quit. She seemed only to have been working for a few months, according to this rumour, before she packed her bags and stomped off in a huff. Whether it was about money, if she did quit, and how this is going to impact Harry and Meghan moving forward with trying to get staff. There was what seemed to be a job ad placed that many people thought was hardcore related. It was pretty amusing. It was quite hardcore, the skills that Nanny had to have. I'm catching up on readings. I was going to do a reading on that. I'm catching up on readings, and that's why I'm doing the Nanny card. And lo and behold, what has come out as the underlying energy is the 6 of Discs, 6 of Pentacles, about equal give and take. Fluffy is now here, flicking her tail, wanting me to feed her in her failure to lure a bird down from the feed table. But 6 of Discs is about somebody wanting what is rightfully theirs. It's the card of reciprocity, equal give and take. It's upright. She expected it. She thought that she would be compensated fairly for her efforts. That is what the 6 of Pentacles is all about. How very interesting. We can see the next card, just by the way. Page of Wands in reverse. Didn't quite work out that way. Bad news. It was bad news for our poor nanny. Seemingly, allegedly. Let us look at the heart of this reading, this situation, what was going on here. 7 of Wands in reverse, something that was indefensible. Somebody feels that they were attacked. They were vulnerable. They were treated unfairly, exposed. Whether the Harkles or whether the nanny, I'm not quite sure, but this is a situation where somebody was unable to defend themselves, felt vulnerable, and I should imagine that is poor Nanny. Poor Nanny felt vulnerable, felt almost, I want to say, at risk. And I should imagine if she was working for her living, as most of us work for our living, you put in your effort, you expect money. If you don't get the money, how do you pay your bills? It's that basic. Yes, most of us are vulnerable to a paycheck that doesn't arrive when it's supposed to. Can be an absolute catastrophe. I have been there personally, and I know people right now who are there personally. It's bad. So let's see. What's it like working as a nanny for Harry and Meghan? In particular, Meghan. I don't think Harry so much. What's it like? It's Two of Wands. It's Two of Wands, and it's you got to be strategic with the Two of Wands. It's about planning. You've got to, I think, keep both of them happy. That's what I'm getting from this card. You've got to keep the situation balanced with that Two of Wands. Normally, Two of Wands is a partnership. It's an enterprise that people go into. They make plans, they make strategies to conquer the world. I think people go into this thinking that this is going to be a brilliant opportunity, because Two of Wands is an opportunity. You see an opportunity and you put together your little business plan, and you go along to the bank and say, here's my business plan, please give me some money. And the bank usually says, no, go away. But this is perceived as an opportunity. But when they arrive there, it's like, okay, you've now got two people that you're working with that you have got to manage. I'm getting that distinct feeling of this card. I'm an energy reader. I get energy of cards. And of course, energy changes, which makes it pretty interesting for energy readers. But this is the energy I'm getting off this card. More than just she saw it as an opportunity, or the nannies that they hire, see it as an opportunity. It looks good on CV. It can get them further in their lives, even if they only work for a few months. I think it might even be sold to them by the hiring agents as well. Do this for a couple of months. It's on your CV, on you go. But there's more. There's more about managing the personalities involved, the two main characters in the story, who don't necessarily, in my opinion, from the energy of this card, don't necessarily agree. Odd energy coming from that card. Did she quit? Did the nanny quit recently? The most recent nanny, did she quit recently? Yes, she did. She went. She went. Eight of Wands, fast moving energy, unblocking. I think she was thinking about it for a while. She had enough. Out, off, gone. It's fast moving. A swift notice. I think she shot the email off across wherever the articles were. I'm gone. I'm out of here. Tell Doria I've left whatever in the fridge, and there's a pile of washing over there. And Archie's in the chicken coop, and who knows where Lilibet is, but I'm out of here. That very, very, very decisive energy, the Eight of Wands. I'm gone, and this is the message, this is the notice. Was it about money? The hidden energy of this was she really not paid? Ten of Swords, wow! Ten of Swords in reverse, this is so painful. This is ruin, this is betrayal, this is devastating, really devastating. I think it was more than about money, personally. Although we have this underlying energy of what's owed, the Six of Pentacles. So I think the universe has already answered and said, yes, of course it was about money there. But it was so much worse than she thought it would be. I think she went into it probably forewarned, but it turned out, Ten of Swords in reverse, just to be a complete catastrophe for her working for them. This is my opinion. And based off of tarot cards. But the Ten of Swords is about as bad as a situation can be. It had reached rock bottom, and she wanted out of it. She wanted out of it to recover from a situation that was completely intolerable. It was horrific for her. It wasn't about money. It wasn't only about money. Whatever was going on for her and the children, possibly, was beyond bearing. She could not anymore deal with it. Whether it was her relationship with Harry or Meghan, whether it was the situation around the children, what it was, I don't know. But we might pull a card and find out what was so awful about it. But it was the worst of the worst of the worst, or much worse than she ever imagined it could be. Outcome for the Harkles in terms of their ability to hire staff, get new people in. Is it going to affect them? Is it going to make them kind of blacklisted? We've got we've got the devil. It is the devil in reverse, and I've got to check and see if the devil does have clothes on, and everybody's got clothes on. They do, sort of. Oh dear. But the devil is toxic. It's super toxic. I'm reading this card as I've read this as being super the worst of the worst. This is devil of all devils, toxic situation. I think that they are going to be notorious by the time this is finished. Notorious not just for possibly speculating, not paying what they've agreed to pay, what they're contractually obliged to pay, but also for whatever that Ten of Swords is about. The situation, the working environment is horrendous. This was interesting because this said opportunities, but then having to be careful to manage personalities. The Two of Wands, when I asked directly, I want to know what that Ten of Swords is about, please. What is so awful about the situation that this nanny couldn't wait to get out of there? I think sent an email and said, I'm gone. Possibly before they had even got on a plane to go back to the US. Tell me what is so difficult, what is so tricky, what is so awful. Is it about the main characters? Is it about the children? What is it about? Death in reverse. Death in reverse. It's not a personality as such, the Death card in reverse. There's nobody there that's a Scorpio that I know of. But death is about change, is about things that need to end. When it's upright, the thing ends. The situation changes radically and you have to transform. Something about this was just relentlessly toxic. It just never changed. There was no hope of it ever improving. That whatever situation they were in, and it's not telling me what. I'm not getting anything off this card in terms of ideas of, okay, it's about the way the children are treated, or it's the way Harry behaves, or it's the way Meghan behaves, or it's about the fact that the Harkles are broke, or something like that. It's telling me that the nanny sees this situation, the nannies, not just this particular one, is they see this situation as like a death spiral. People who are stuck in a situation that there is no good way out of, there's no healthy way out of. When the card is upright, even though it's difficult and you might not want to change and you might not want to let go of the things that you think keep you safe, you do, and it gets better after that massive pruning, that culling, whatever happens to you, that loss. It's better afterwards. Okay, now I can start from scratch and I can do better. I can recover. But this is telling me that the nannies don't see any possibility of the situation improving, whatever it is, whether it is addictions or marriage or situation around the children, whether it is or things that people speculate might be true about the children and where they came from, or whatever. They might have issues, those kinds of things. The nannies just don't see any way. However hard they work and whatever they do, they don't see any way of making this better, of fixing this, or of the main characters are in this situation actually being able to fix this. They see this as a ship going down and they just want out. They want out. They don't want to be attached to the ship as it goes down. The Ten of Swords is very much, you've hit rock bottom. You are ruined. They don't want to be ruined. As the ship goes down, they don't want to be associated with it. It's a very interesting outcome. Very. Not what I was expecting in this reading. But there you go. That's your reading for today. And thank you as ever for watching. And I will hopefully see you again tomorrow.